So basically, this is your syllabus for this course, right? And these will be the course learning objectives of your syllabus. Here again, we are discussing the syllabus. Yeah, scheme of examination. You'll have two questions from part A, right? Each will be for 60 marks. Okay, that it can be either on capstone or it can be any combination you can have. Basically, it will be on turning and milling. In turning, you can have capstone or CNC turn. In milling, you can have either caps mill or CNC mill. And the second component will be your Viva questions, which is for 20 marks. Total marks will be for 80 marks. So basically, I think you have gone across several times the vision and mission of the institute as well as the vision and mission of the department. These are your PEOs, program educational objectives. These are your course outcomes of your sim and automation lab, right? I hope you by now you should, since you're in the final year, you should know what is your program outcomes. You all know, right? Do you all know?
Ma'am, just want to tell something.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, what happened was when we were doing sim last year,
Hmm.
uh, we didn't get to understand the codes that well, ma'am. So could you please teach us that part before we start, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. One class, the first,
Yeah.
this is only an introduction class. Next
Yes, ma'am.
class, I will first do the coding. We will explain the coding
Yes, ma'am.
and I will only explain the syntax of each block. Suppose if I'm teaching you CAN cycle, I will tell you about the syntax for G70 and 71. I hope you know to write your coordinates for your sketch which I'm giving you. For any milling or turning operations of milling operations, I will give you the sketch. You need to know to write the coordinates. After writing the coordinates, if I take the first step turning, you with CAN cycle you can simply write the programming, the first few blocks and the syntax for each operation I'm doing. Let it be, if I take the first the phasing operation and turning operation, I'll just give you the syntax. First you make an attempt of writing the program, then I will correct the program, then I will give you the corrected program. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll see, this is only an introduction class. By next class we will start with the G codes and M codes. Okay. So
Sure,
I
ma'am.
hope you all know POs, and should I explain about POs? I think you all know what is the POs and all. Engineering knowledge, program, problem analysis, design component, conduct investigation of problem analysis, modern tool usage, engineer and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication. What are the key components that are required for your engineering, right? All that, this is the program, Bachelor of Engineering. These are the programs that, these are the outcomes that you should obtain from your program, that is your Bachelor of Engineering, right? So at the end of the 4 years, these are the 12 components you should have, like lifelong learning. You will learn when you start thinking your PBL, your project, all that gives you a lifelong learning, right? Then project management. Once when in your final year, when you do your project, you will know how to frame your objectives, how to write how to how to make sure that you work in a team, and handling the finance. You'll have to do your budget and you have to plan your budget for your project. You'll have to make copies for your report. All that budget will be planned here, right? Then communications, your vivas, your project presentations, your technical presentations, all that will be coming under the communication. This individual and teamwork, definitely uh, your projects will help with projects when you're on PBL, or when you're your final year project, when you're working on a team, or individual when it is a technical seminar, how you work effectively. This is the component that will be introduced here. Ethics is when you're trying to write your report. You make sure that when you do your with your project, the formulation of objectives, you make sure that you're not copying it from somewhere, right? So we make sure that we ensure that you have written or you have formulated these objectives on your own, right? So these are the ethics component that will be instrumental in your Bachelor of Engineering. Then environmental and sustainability. Environmental and sustainability is you basically co-wrapped with your environment, right? Now we have seeing students who are coming up with beautiful projects for this COVID. They want to develop nurses who doesn't want to interact with the patient on time. They, time correctly. They want to deliver medicines without the intervention with the patients, right? So these are all some projects which are coming, which we are working for the environment and society, right? So next is the engineer and society. All that issues that you're taking up, all that problem definitions you're doing, right? Let it be your projects, that KCST projects, all that comes under you're basically working for society, health, or safety parameters, right? So basically, these component, your engineering, whatever projects you're defining is for the society, right? That component also comes here. Modern tool usage is that we use a lot of new softwares. You can use Answers, you can use Tableau, you can use LaTeX for report writing. So all that will be coming under here, right? Then you conduct investigations. How your analysis starts when you define your objectives. How you do your investigations. How the complex problem. How do you define, right? So there is a free formulation of all that component here. Design is the most key component. Without designing any mechanical project, and that too after you all have studying DME1, DME2, DOM and all that. So definitely design is a major component for our mechanical engineering. Problem analysis is almost inbuilt with whatever we do. So any problem you get, you basically are in a process of analyzing stuff and how to identify your problems, right? Engineering knowledge, basic knowledge of mathematics, science. If you have all those, only will be able to move on gradually over the years of mechanical engineering, right? In the first year, the basic knowledge of physics, chemistry, then your max, then electronics, electrical. Just a second, I'll take this call.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, are you all watching some movie, Varun? I
No,
can
ma'am.
hear some.
I just got a call, ma'am.
What a call.
So sorry, ma'am. What happened
That's
again?
okay. Okay. So basically, these are the program outcomes for your. Uh, these are the program outcomes. Now let's move on to course outcomes of Sim and Automation Lab. Sim Lab, Computer Integrated Manufacturing Lab, is basically ability to understand, learn to learn the available simulation software. Next one is illustrate and write the CNC program to produce any all the components, such as you have different operations like turning, you have threading, you have grooving, right? Step turning, taper turning. All these operations, you will be learning to write the CNC program. Then and after writing, when you're simulating, you should know the correct appropriate use of the tools. So select the tools for various types of operation. Then you also be must be, if you're doing a finishing operation, your cutting speed must be less. If you're doing the initial, your feed and depth of can be a little variant. So all these things will, it'll help you to fix up with these parameters, right? Last one is demonstrate the principle of programming, not only for the component, for the given set of component you will be writing the program, but also for any program given, you should be able to write the CNC program. And finally, we'll be demonstrating the working of a pick and place robot, right? So as I said, pitch roll, yeah, how it works, how your gripper works, how the end effector tries to bring in the action. All that will be demonstrating in the sim lab. Is it clear? So now, since we are doing everything online, from October 1st, you will start coming for the offline classes. But till then, Every this is how your marks for your write up will be. But I think for your 40 marks, right, for the records.
Yes, ma'am. 40 marks.
40 marks. Okay, then I will give you this rubrics for evaluation a little later. So we leave this. Um, is there any doubts with your syllabus?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Then can you see?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
see the PPT I've shared?
Yes.
Yes, you have studied the subject, but unfortunately, you have not written the exam. So let's see how much you just studied sim in the fifth
Yes, ma'am.
semester, fifth or
Yes, ma'am.
sixth,
Sixth, ma'am. Sixth.
sixth semester. Okay. Can somebody define sim according to Groover? You only referred the text to Groover only, right?
Actually, ma'am, sir asked us not to refer any textbook. He just told give you the notes. So we just refer his notes, ma'am.
You referred his notes. Okay. Can somebody define what is sim then? You don't remember. The most very usually or very commonly the definition which we use for SIM is a manufacturing approach of using computers to control the entire production process, right? So this is the most commonly used definition for SIM. SIM is a manufacturing approach of using computers to control the entire production process, right? So we are using computers and for integrating the manufacturing process. So this is the understanding of SIM, right? But if we let's look at the other definition for SIM. SIM is the integration of total manufacturing enterprises through the use of integrated systems and data communication coupled with new managerial philosophies that improve organizational and personal efficiencies, right? This is in a way of elaborately a way of writing finding sim, right? But very simple and easily understood is this definition, right? Sim is a manufacturing approach of using computers to control the entire production process. Before I move down to the next slide, now what is that sim? Okay, so first let's discuss what are all different chapters you had in SIM. Tell me what are all different chapters you had in SIM.
Introduction to Sim, ma'am. That is the first
Okay,
chapter. Then
okay.
we had flexible manufacturing.
Manufacturing systems, yes.
Then
Programming, robotics. Did you have all this?
Yes, ma'am. We even did the types of arms and we
Robotics.
had all of the, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Robotic manipulators and everything.
Group technology.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Now you will tell me what is it? Why did you have to study about this retrieval systems, computer-aided process planning? You would have studied about uh, automated tool storage and all that, right? So what was the need for bringing about all this?
Ma'am, to increase production and decrease human effort.
To increase production and decrease human effort.
Yes, ma'am.
By decreasing human effort, don't you think that we are having um, job scarcity or
Yes, ma'am. There is
Mm,
why did
also
it be? want to introduce this automation?
Ma'am, faster production time.
Yes, ma'am. And also the margin of
Production
error is
time,
very
that
low.
first point is over. Okay, that we agree that production time. But apart from production, to increase the production, there must have been other reasons also for them to bring about automation. What are the other reasons?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
margin of error is
yeah, margin of
low.
error is very low when you use machines.
Yeah, errors were very low, right? And due to monotonous, because mass production was the same job. When you, it was proved by a psychologist saying that when humans were put on the same job monotonously, they had tendency to bring about errors, right? So this was a psychological proof. So they thought by doing so, we may lose away the production, how much ever the skilled labor may be, how much ever qualified labor may be, but definitely over a period of time, he is going to lose his efficiency and accuracy level. So then they thought, let's bring about automation. Now we all say automation is, by doing automation, you'll have error free prone, you'll have good productivity, right? These are the some of the reasons you all gave, right? Then let's see what is SIM. Under this component, we have, I said it is an integration of all entire enterprise operations, right? Uh, and activities. Integrated systems and data communications are coupled with new managerial philosophies. New managerial philosophies means, what is the key component of having managerial philosophies? I already said, if you have to understand SIM, I already said it is a process which is involved. It's a process which involves right from placing an order till this product is delivered to the customer, right? I said that is SIM. Now, when I talk about SIM, what is this new managerial philosophies? Customer satisfaction and to know the demand is also one of the key components of SIM. Once when you finish your once when your product is delivered to the customer, the SIM as a process immediately will give a customer satisfaction feedback, right? Once when they post a customer satisfaction feedback, the customer gives his response, and based on the response, next process will be initiated, or next to design the next I to design the next component. These feedbacks will be taken into account, and based on that, they will like to improve their design, right? When you look at the early phase, right, uh, we have to realize that when their industry is trying to target some production line, they have to make sure that there is a demand for the product in the industry. Without having a demand for a product in the industry, we cannot manufacture it and simply stock it in our warehouse, or paying some huge money for the warehouse, stocking it, maintenance charges, all those are huge loss for the industry. The moment you produce it, it has to immediately sold out. If you have it as an inventory, it's definitely loss for the organization. So these managerial philosophies was the one which targeted in having a fixed lines of having known what the demand was and knowing what was the customer satisfaction, right? So these were taken into the account. Next, SIM is not a product that can be purchased and installed. What is it? If SIM is not a product that can be purchased and installed, what is it?
Hmm, can be an idea.
Do you have any SIM software?
Yes, ma'am. We have Solid Edge, ANSYS.
That's not a SIM software. That's a design. Solid Edge is basically used by the CAD software. CAD people use CAD, Solid Edge. That's basically used for designing. SIM is computer integrated manufacturing.
Manufacturing, yes, ma'am.
Hmm. See, SIM is a controlling process. Basically, SIM has to control CAD, CAM, then data processing, then communication lines, robotics, all that it has to control. It has to interface between all these components. The center component, which is interacting with all these components, will be discussed by will be controlled and will be initiated by the SIM. right? SIM is not one such thing which can be taken into account, or it can be purchased, or it can be installed. If a person who's, if you call, if you say any person has a knowledge of SIM, he has to have a knowledge of solid edge, that is the design stream. He should know CATIA, he should know Pro E, he should know ANSYS, he should know solid edge, whatever, all those design softwares he should be aware of. Then you should know the different aided manufacturing process. What is job production, what is continuous production, what is batch production, all that you should know. Then you should act. Not only that, you should also, if you look at the marketing tips, you should know the different marketing strategies. Then if you look at the initial purchase scale, you should know the different vendors agreement, vendor strategy, supply chain strategy, all that you should know. If he has a knowledge of all this, then only he can operate efficiently. Is it clear? SIM is basically a way of thinking and solving problems. Is it clear? It is this integration allows individual processes to exchange information with each other and initiate actions. This exchange, the moment if your warehouse is empty or the raw buffer stock is empty with raw materials, the SIM has to take in line for giving the loop for the vendors to order their in the material resource planning. It has to order immediately, the raw materials has to be stocked in the buffer stock, right? So these are the initiations that the SIM has to do. Is it clear? Is it clear? Shall I move on to the next slide? Any
Yes,
doubts
ma'am.
here? Okay. So this is the potential benefits of SIM. I think we have spoken improved customer service quality, shorter time to market new products, shorter flow time, shorter vendor lead time. These days on all, we have plenty of MRP softwares. The moment you're in your bill of cards, the raw material is going below the certain material, immediately a call will go to the vendor requesting for requisition of the raw material. So these all are automated. So there is no any individual operator required to send a tender order, make an order. All definitely, if you have all that, definitely your flow time will be less. Then you have reduced inventory levels. There is no time that there is no need for ordering the quantities in bulk and stocking it, maintenance of the inventory, paying the charges for it, having one security for it. All that problems are avoided, right? Then you have scheduled program performance. Then you have greater flexibility, responsiveness, improved competitiveness, lower total cost, shorter customer lead time, increased in manufacturing productivity, decrease in work in process inventory. These are the potential benefits of SIM. Next one, role of computer in manufacturing. You are all very, very, very advanced. Now you should tell what is the role of computer in manufacturing. With the use of IoT systems and by having cloud computing and all that, these days we don't have to even wait time. Everything will happen in a fraction of second, right? So this computer interfacing has definitely played a has given a major significance in automation or industry 4.0, right? These days, if you feel your what is that, if you feel your system has interpreted somewhere, immediately a buffer or immediately a security alarm is being raised saying that such and such machine has been corrupted or it is not in working conditions. There is a, if you is working, or suppose there is some human which is going in the path line of the operation, immediately an alarm beeps saying that there is some intervention. So all these are happening because of the computers, because of the sensors, because of the interfacing between the sensors and the computer, the interfacing, everything has happened here, right? So definitely the computer has a substantial impact on almost all the activities in a factory. I hope you all have visited Volvo industry, right? Which is in Pina. Have you all visited there? Did you all go to the industrial visit to Volvo? Boys, did you all visit the industrial visit to Volvo? No, ma'am.
Ma'am, our
Okay.
industrial visit was not to Volvo, ma'am.
Then where you all went?
Ma'am, we went to a thermal plant
Okay.
near this
So you've
one.
not been to any automated industry?
No, ma'am, not yet. The only
Not yet.
industry closest we've been to is HMT.
HMT. HMT is good for studying machine tools, but if you have to have a knowledge of automation and all that, you need to visit Volvo or you need to visit the one more small industry, the packaging industry, which is there in Pina. Maybe I will tell HOD sir to take you over there to have a close look at how the automated industry works, right? So definitely I'll put a word so that this will help you in understanding the subject better. Okay. So next, manufacturing methods. Okay. So manufacturing methods, three components distinguish SIM from the other manufacturing methodologies, right? So one is in data storage, retrieval, manipulation, and presentation, right? Then next one is the mechanism of sensing state, right? Modifying process. Can you tell the differences between the normal industry and an automated industry? In those days when HAL, I remember when I did my project in HAL, in those days when there was a tea break, right? The machines for that period of time was completely shut down. The 10 minutes tea break when they used to go, the machines were completely shut down, right? And the operators used to go for tea break. But that 10 minutes time was not exactly taken by the operators, right? So it was sometimes it used to take 5 minutes more or 5 minutes less or something like that. Usually there was a excess time used by the operator, but by the time they go back to the machine and start the machine, definitely by the end of the period there was a slag in their production line. In place of if they have to play, in place if they had to produce 10,000 products, definitely there was some small lag of having only about 8,900 something or some, there was a small lag, right? But in these days, immediately you have programmed the complete operation. The moment the operation is done, based on the programming, the system will automatically stop, or it will, after it is done, immediately recall. If you're programmed, it will immediately recall for the next program and start working on it. Even you don't have to change your tool, you don't have to the time, you have that automatic tool turret in automation system in which the tools are completely placed on the turret machine. So this, the machine itself exchanges the tools and does the operation. But in normal manufacturing system, the operator has to spend some time on removing the tool and then refixing the tool, assembling the tool, and making sure the tool is inclined properly, and then start a rough turning operation, rough process, and then actually put the operation into process. So there was definitely a slack, there was a narrow deviation between the actual manufacturing technology and the sim technology, right? So SIM is basically an implementation of B. Without using this ICT in manufacturing, SIM couldn't have been possible. That's the best statement I can make out of this slide. Yeah, this is a SIM and production. This is the exact structure of how your SIM will look. So I said this SIM is responsible for having a strategic plan. Strategic plan for what? To have a profit. I said, when you have to know your demand, you should know how you can make money. You should know how to make profit. Less product, more money, right? All these strategic plans will be done by the business operations. Here, the people thinks about your customer knowledge, thinks about the demand, thinks about how products can reach variety of customers. All these strategies will be discussed by these market people, right? Then you have the production plan. This production plan, depending upon the customer orders, the production plan will be made. Production plan, basically why we have to have a production plan is because they don't want to manufacture anything in excess and store it in a warehouse, because at some point of time we realized that putting in a warehouse definitely had the maintenance cost, had an inventory cost, had a security cost, and sometimes over a period they had material used to deteriorate, which the money was definitely is a huge loss for the organization. So they didn't wanted to have this uh, didn't want to have waste any raw material here. So based on the customer orders, they had planned their production plan, and the production plan was first split into two components. One is design methods, whether what kind of CAD and CAM can be appropriated. Then they also need to assess their, this was done immediately. It was correlated with the calculation of raw material requirements, loads, program in, controlling thing. So we need to have a PIC system as well. So when we need to control the system in having the right design and right material requirement, we need to, if you're making some component, the design requirement of the material also should be very specific. So these two worked in line, and if they had any problem, they would communicate back to the production system, and again they would give the tendencies to both. Even here, if they had any problem with the design, if the design was not appropriate for this material, again they would send back a feedback to the production line. Based on that, they would change and send back to it, right? So this design plan used to also constantly be in touch with the strategic plan, because our ultimately is to make profit. You cannot have, with the designs you have, you cannot invest on high quality materials and finally have a huge investment, right? So we should make sure that the design or the material you use must be appropriate with the amount invested in the organization, right? So these two worked in very close hand, right? Then they would check for the quality. After the net output will be, they would be checked for the, this is the production system. Once when the production system is putting all these ideas into the actual converting the raw material into product, once when the product is out, they would check for quality. They would see whether the production process is working on smooth, and continuous monitoring used to be happening. Your statistic quality check used to be there, and they used to monitor and send the report to your calculation team, right? And the moment your material is in the last phase, immediately the purchase order also has to be placed, so that it go back to the strategic system and they place the order, right? When all this happening, right, all these datas are stored in your computer based data system, right? Once when it is stored here, at any point for the next production cycle also, these acts as a prerequisite for starting your production plan. The simulation validation, results validation also after each phase was taken into the strategic plan. Is it clear? This is how exactly our sim will work in an industry organization. If I have to take this, this will be the, if you look at any industry, this will be the top management. It can be the directors. You can have, if you look here, the people involved will be the directors, can be the entrepreneur, he can be the investor. All these people will come under the strategic plan. In the production management, it is mainly led by the operations manager. Under the operations manager, you can have your financial manager, you can have your marketing manager, you can have your human resource manager, then you can have your production manager. All these peoples will come under the operations manager, right? These operations manager will be cordially acting in with production manager, top level production manager, marketing manager, material requirement planning manager, human resource manager, and financial manager. And in this, they, as I said, it will be broken into two compounds. One is design and raw material calculations. So based on the appropriate, they would be designing and making a selection process, different design, new themes, all that will be brought about here. And these simulations immediately will be communicated to the higher strategies. Is there any doubts? Have you understood? Boys sleeping. Boys
Yes, ma'am.
sleeping
No, ma'am.
after lunch.
No, ma'am. Not yet.
Not yet. So is this slide clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the key challenges with this computer integrated manufacturing. Basically, key challenges is how to integrate components with from different suppliers, right? So when different machines such as CNC conveyors or robots are being used, you need to have AGVs. You need to interact with different suppliers and get the right material, right? So that was a key challenge here. Then data integrity. Data integrity, if you look the database, all information will be coming from different channels to the database, right? You need to have a channel, or you need to channelize these database and make sure that the component and the operation works in smooth here. Next one is the process control. Process control is a process control, smooth controlling of different operations. Process control is in charge for the smooth movement of from one station to the other station. Smooth movement of operations is controlled by the process control, right? Then subsystems of SIM are CAD, as I said, computer aided engineering drawing, basically softwares that are used to do the designing task. Then you have computer aided manufacturing, computer software to control machine tools and related machinery. CAP, computer aided process planning. So basically, a computer technology is used to plan the process right from part of the product in manufacturing. Then you have computer aided quality assurance. So basically, after I said, in each time there is a sampling check and where is a quality assurance being made, right? So say at each, this computer quality assurance takes care of that part of the component. Then production planning and control. Production planning and control is responsible for planning the control system and making sure that the right product mix is planned so that there is no operation intervened or stopped in between the operations, and smooth flow of the operations is being done in the workshop, right? Then you have enterprise resource planning. Enterprise resource planning will be basically, there will be a system which integrates internal and external management information across the entire organization. Suppose you have a system, you have a manufacturing plant in Bangalore and Hyderabad. This enterprise resource planning enables the communication between these two. Suppose if a manufacturing car company, some part of the raw materials are from Hyderabad, some part of the raw materials are from Bangalore. This enterprise resource planning makes sure that for assembly section, the right component of the Hyderabad and right component from Bangalore meets at a point for complete assembly. And not only that, for sales and service also, how much profit, what kind of costing, what kind of accounting is being done will be enabled by the enterprise resource planning. See, this is SIM. You have numerical control, programmable numerical control system. You have computer numerical control system. Then you have the distribution numerical control system, where the distribution, when one system is being distributed to all these. Programmable numerical control, where the programs are there, you just need to, like in your washing machine, there are different sequence for running out operations, right? So you just need to call out which operation you want. Here also you have different programmable numerical control, you just call the operation. Then computer numerical control, you can simply come here and type your programs to execute your CNC operations, right? And the best thing is, this year we have a new CNC machine in our research and center lab. I hope you all start coming to college so that we will be exposed to that. Maybe we can show you one two programs, and we can show the working after the program has been syntax checked, how it really works on the machine. All those will be shown to you in your computer research center lab, where we have our CNC machines. Now, other devices that we use in our sim is that we have robotics. Computer, definitely it has softwares, it has controllers. Without controllers, we cannot bring about any smooth functioning. Then you need to have interfacing and networks. Networks brings a channel of connection between several systems. So this network and interfacing enables complete sim. The technology in SIM, you have flexible manufacturing system, you have automated storage and retrieval system. Automated storage is how much capacity is there, how much can be retrieved, where is it exactly located. If you go to your library, you call for a book, It says, right, this book is in this cabin, or this cubicle, right? Same job this automated storage and retrieval system does. In each bin card, how much screws are there, how much nuts are there, all those details this automated storage and retrieval system will be given. Then AGVs, without these automated guided vehicles, are any automation system won't be possible. These guided vehicles, basically, with the help, it can be either working on a conveyors, or it can be individual as a its own as a vehicle. These usually basically is used to carry the component from one station to the other station, or carry the different raw materials from one station to the other station, right? Basically, these EGVs is a part of a sim system, right? Then we have the conveyors, which basically enables the component to move from one station to the other station. You can either have conveyor system, or you can use a robotics for pick and placing the object, right? I'll skip this because I already explained in the other sketch. Yeah. Now, here I have put down some advantages and disadvantages. So basically, advantages is shorter product life cycles, better process control, supports and coordinates the exchange of information, design components for machines, decreases the cost of production, right? And maintenance cost is also low. These are the advantages. Disadvantages is that the technology is unfamiliar. One who is skilled, or one who knows the knowledge only can operate. Requires major change. If we cannot make any system just like that onto automation, right? It has to have a lot of investment to be made. Even the space requirement is very much here. So requires major change in the corporate culture. And short term of profit, the investment if you make now, it takes nearly 5 to 6 years to get your profit, right? So the reduction, there is a short term profit. Perceived risk is high. Definitely, if one line or one mission crashes, definitely that your monthly production will be blocked. Or if you don't produce your component at the right time, definitely it goes as a slack into the inventory. So we always have to make sure that our product reaches the customer at right time. So there will be a risk. And when we have automation systems, definitely the maintenance cost, and there will be a expensive implementation, right? So maintenance cost will be high. So same as, basically, we make use of the computers to control the entire process. Individual process are to be exchange, basically enables exchange of information with each other to initiate actions, right? This integration can be faster, and it can be less prone, as some of you have said, it is less prone, less error prone, right? And made advantage is the ability to create a great automated manufacturing process, right? So this is the basic introduction of your SimLab here. Now, after having introduced to what is SIM, what I want you to do in the next class is, you should come prepared with G codes. Can we name some? What is G00? What is G00? While I'm asking all the questions, sleeping, everybody, nobody wants to answer. Women's phone is ringing badly. Until unless you tell what is G0, I'm not going to the next step.
No, no, no.
Don't know. G0, rapid traverse. G01. Linear interpolation, G02 circular interpolation clockwise, G03 circular interpolation anti-clockwise. Don't remember? G70 is for finishing cycle. G71 is torque removal in turning when we are not using the can cycle. Can cycle is takes the cut at several steps. G76 will be threading. G75 peg drilling. 74 is drilling. We use G20 or 21. We use inch unit or metric unit. Okay, now I will not bother you much, but by the time you all come for the next lab, you should know all the G codes for sure. Not all, which will be using like G21, G28, G70, G71, G76, right? 74, M30. When do you have to when you have to turn out your, uh, what is it, coolant on, coolant off? All these commands you should know. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So attendance will be viewed very seriously. Make sure you attend your classes very seriously this time. So quickly, if you can, this batch starts with which roll number?
I'm 60. No,
From
wait.
60, is it?
Uh,
From 060? You're all 1B by 17 batch, huh? Which batch you're all?
I'm few from 17, few from 18.
Ma'am, I am 1 by 16 batch.
Ma'am, can we type our USNs in the chat box now?
Chat box.
Yes, ma'am, we'll type our USN.
I don't think I have many students. I have only 8 students. I mean, I have only six, I think. I'll write down. Chanukya, Chanukya, Danush. Chanukya, if you don't answer, I'm not giving you attendance.
Ma'am, yes, typed, ma'am.
Type. Chanukya is also typed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this only I can take for attendance. Okay, fine. So for the first class, you all have got your records, huh? No,
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
no. So when are you planning to buy? October 1st?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
college opens, we'll come and take.
yes, ma'am. Once college opens, we'll buy it.
Then imagine you by the time you come for first class, 4 labs you would have finished and you will be lagging behind. And how do I know whether you all know or if you have understood the content or something like that? You write only know you learn something.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
ma'am. We
ma'am,
don't
one more
ask you
thing.
if you have any doubts.
Okay,
Ma'am,
one thing I will
this
do.
whole G code concept, ma'am, like all of us, we're not really sure with this
I can
because,
understand
yeah,
Dhanush for us programming as a mechanical engineer. I can understand for us programming is something is like weird, but it's very simple. I'm telling you, these writing program using G codes and M codes, whatever we are doing it now, is very simple. Only thing you have to understand the basic. I'm not going to rush. I promise you, I'm not going to rush. I will take my own time. But first, you have to know basic G codes. Like when I say G00, you should know rapid traverse. G01, linear interpolation. So you should know the basic G codes. Then one by one codes, I will know. I will teach about 5 codes in a day, and I will just show you the syntax for each code, and I'll give you a simple sketch where if you know the pattern, you can write your program on your own. We'll try one 4 5 programs, then we can move on. Is it clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
It's first don't have any negative impression. It's SimLab is one of the coolest, but if you don't learn it very seriously, we have had some failures in SimLab as well. So, but right from the first class, if you take it very seriously, I'm sure the subject is not going to be a tough job. I know students who have just studied for the last 2 days of the semester and have happily cleared the exam with good marks. So it's only a small inclination, a small understanding towards the subject. If you have understood the subject, or if you've got that right pinning point of the subject, then everything you will understand on your own. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. With this, I'll stop. From next class, we'll continue. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you then.